dead. Actually dead.
Absolutely dead.
Yeah, that was a good cold opening right there.
Where
Totally out
did
of
it start?
context. Dead.
Absolutely dead.
Dead. Absolutely dead.
Great.
Absolute perishing.
Yes.
La Muerta.
Dia de los Muertos. So welcome back, Co's Corner K2 episode
Peasants.
3. I think it's episode 3.
Episode peasant.
Yeah, the usual folks are here except for Javier, who is late.
He perishes.
What are you talking about? He's fashionably late.
X immediately explodes. Spontaneously combusts.
Nah, he's brushing his teeth again.
He's off in the drug warehouse brushing his teeth with like a bunch of meth.
Yeah, tasty.
You know it. See, last time, the group decided to investigate the cartel lead. They were brought by their guide, Ramon, to this warehouse area where he supposedly, knew where the drug cartel was hiding. The group was ambushed by some attempted assassins, some cartel assassins who were awful at their job.
Some wannabes.
Yeah. After dispatching the assassins, the group took one of them hostage, named Cartel Guy, and
Cartel Man number 1.
Yeah, they took Cartel Guy and Ramon, and they went to the cartel base in the middle of the jungle to find it abandoned and destroyed. After some investigating, the group found that one of the buildings had a drug lab in the basement, and that it had blown up during the attack. And they got some clues, figured it probably some kind of crocodile monster. They also found like worm tracks and like a bunch of crocodile feet. So it was kind of, people were kind of confused, figuring out what was going on. And then eventually, the group decided to try to lure out one of these monsters by lighting a magic lighter under the water of the nearby swamp water.
Yeah.
At which point, Cartel Guy was eaten by an unseen force from below the ground. And then the group was, JVH almost had his hand bitten off by the Gatorpede that had been attracted to his lighter. So we've got initiative.
Sources say that Gatorpede will become shoes.
Yes, of course.
Gatorpede bone shoes.
I think the fairies have a higher agility than GVH and the enemies.
What did I roll last time?
I'm pretty sure the fairies came first. If I didn't roll high enough, then I probably came second.
Yeah, because there was the enemies, the fairies, and GVH all rolled 15s because it was the day of 15s last time. And then
yes.
Battlecock rolled a 14, X rolled a 13, and Bostonbrook got a 6. He got a critical failure on his initiative, if I remember correctly. So first is the Bone Fairy and the Tooth Fairy. There is a singular Gatorpede who is I think he's 15, 20 feet long. Not like the biggest boy, but still a pretty big boy.
Let me open up my character sheet. Let me get it out of the Xbox Series X mini fridge real quick. Here it is. I forgot I could fly. Alright, well, how much bone mass have I collected? You didn't update the sheet.
You have...
How many cartel guys did we kill?
You have 5, if I'm wrong, yeah, because you absorbed the one dead guy last time. So you've got 5 bone mass.
5? Then can I spend an action? It does require an action. Probably does. Making a bone dagger.
Okay, you can do that. So you spend one action to make a bone dagger. You guys, seeing this innocent looking young woman as her like the palm of her hand kind of like splits open, and like her I don't know the name of bones in your forearm, but one of her forearm bones kind of juts out of the palm of her hand, covered in blood, and then it kind of it forms into like a big old knife.
Yes. And then I'm going to have Yuna still on my hip if she wasn't already. Walk towards her and have Yuna do toothache. If I can do that.
Walk towards the Gatorpede.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know how, like, where you guys were standing in relation to each other last
Well,
time.
I
Know
don't
you were
know how
close to JVH.
far. Yeah, I don't know how far I was from him. Now I was close to JVH, but I don't know if I was like a mile away, which
Well,
would make no sense.
that's like the whole thing is I am directly on top of this.
Yeah,
Yes.
JVH is already, like, in melee combat with the Gatorpede right now.
Essentially.
Well, if I can, I would like to get into melee combat.
Yeah, you're fast enough where you could run up to be in melee with the Gatorpede.
Dang.
Okay. Then I'll do that. Then I'll have Yuna do toothache.
Alrighty. So the Gatorpede needs to make an agility check.
Do I need to make anything actually? Hold on.
Gatorpede
No.
passed. He got a 7. And Gatorpede
Wow.
is a pretty endurable guy. So,
Wow.
Gatorpede, his many crocodilian teeth are resistant to your sugar, your sugary
Jesus.
sweetness. Very magic.
Gatorpedes now have good dental too. I'm in pain.
Well, he takes good care of himself. Self-care. Gatorpede self-care.
See that.
That is the Tooth Fairy's first action.
I think that's all she can do because I'm pretty sure she can't teleport out and she doesn't have her fairy bow.
Accurate.
So her second action is to cross her arms and like turn away and
Okay, she does so. In that case, the Gatorpede has a higher agility than JVH, so he will go next. Gatorpede.
Sick.
Gatorpede does whatever a Gatorpede does. First action, you're gonna try to swipe with its big old tail at the Bone Fairy. So I need.
dodge check.
Yes, you can attempt to dodge if you want to.
So gladly. That's a 10.
All right. Yeah. So the Gatorpede's back half kind of swipes out at you, trying to knock you over, and you just being a bone fairy, you just kind of fly for a second, jump in the air, and you avoid the tail. Gatorpede's second action will be to attempt to bite JVH.
Sick. Do I need to make a dodge?
No, this is a grapple check. So I need you to make me 1d10 plus your strength stat. And Gatorpede does the same with his agility.
That is a 9, good sir.
Gatorpede got an 8 on the dice plus 7 agility is a 15. You have, what's your strength?
I got a 9 on the dice.
Well, you both match, and it goes to the defender. So you do barely manage to.
Hey.
So the Gatorpede, after you pull your arm out of the way right as it goes to bite you, and it lands on the ground. It takes a couple steps forwards, crawling towards you as you're scooting backwards on your butt, and it lunges forwards at you, opens its mouth big and wide, kind of, there's the alligator hiss, and you kind of like, it goes to bite you in the shoulder. So you use your hands, you grab both sides, the top and bottom of its jaw, and kind of keep it pried open as you're struggling to keep this thing from biting down your neck.
Eating me?
Yeah, you're like, oh, help. You do manage to keep it off of you, but just barely.
Sick nasty. So now, technically, I am grappling it.
Well, not mechanically, but in the fiction.
Essentially.
It is your turn. So you're in melee combat with the Gatorpede, and you are standing adjacent to the Bone Fairy and the Tooth Fairy.
Can I... So, its mouth is open towards me, correct?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay. Can I take my rapier and stab directly under its chin?
Alrighty. I'm pretty sure Gatorpede can dodge, so I will check what's his. He only has one reaction, so he will
try.
He will try to dodge. His singular action.
Alright, well, I mean, the rest of my turn is pretty much dependent on his move, so...
Well, he does successfully dodge with a 7 on the dice, so you have to let go of the bottom half of his jaw to draw your rapier, and when you do, he manages to back up, so you swipe out at him with your first strike, and you miss. I am fairly certain you can attack like 3 times with a rapier, maybe even more.
I believe so. I think it's like 3 or 4, because it's a very fast weapon.
Yeah, 3 times.
Hey, so from second strike, I will try to stab downwards and pierce the top of the skull, because that's where the weak point is.
Alrighty, so this does 1d8 times 10, plus 1d6 times 10, plus 20, because it's a magic weapon.
Hey, so it's 1d8 you said, plus 1d6?
1d8 plus 1d6 plus 20.
Okay, sick nasty. I need to find my 1d8. I'm my 1d6, but where's my 8? Ah, there she is. Alright. That is a 4 and an 8.
A 4 and an 8. 120 plus 20 is 140. Alrighty. So you stab down into this thing's the top of the roof of this Gatorpede's mouth, and you kind of like, stab all the way through, and you definitely hurt this thing, but it is still alive.
Can I go for another thrust downwards to try and pierce like the bottom of its jaw?
Actually, this thing has an armor, so I will roll its armor checks. You can strike a 3rd time with your first action, yeah.
Okay, sick nasty. So I'll go for another stab.
Alrighty.
Same die roll. Alright, this time was a little bit better. I got an 8 and a 5.
Alright, 8 and a 5, that's 130 plus 150 more damage, who has 2 more armor checks. He passed one of them, so he takes 50 more damage. So, it's up to 90 damage in total. Alright, so you stab down into the roof of his mouth, and you kind of wrench your sword out, and then the Gatorpede kind of like looks up at you again, so you swipe up, and you split its jaw in the middle, like in the front. You give it like a butt chin. From bottom to top. Still alive, but you've definitely hurt its mouth.
Hurt it very bad.
Yeah, that
Can
is
you
your
tell me
first action.
How does it look? Bloodied? Bruised?
I can tell you, yes. He looks... Well, he's only taken 90 damage because of the armor that he has.
Yeah.
So he is fine.
Okay.
This thing is
Just
big.
tell me when,
This
like-
thing is big. Yeah, I'll tell you about
Yeah.
when it's bloodied.
But he's like kind of owie.
Yeah, you definitely still hurt him. You're starting it, but this is a big boy, so
Oh boy.
it'll take more than this to
That'll be my
kill
shoe.
the big boy. Why didn't I? God. So that's your first action, GVH. You have a second action.
Can I take action to attack?
I mean, you can use your rapier a few more times. You can shoot it. You could lighter it. You could, I don't know, kick it in the face, bare hands attack.
Take action. Because
Is he lagging for you too?
He is, yeah.
I'm gonna.
I didn't
Let
know
shoot it.
JVH
Oh, you're
has
gonna shoot it.
in-character
Okay.
lag.
Yes.
Shoot it with your rail lock then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you're in melee, so it auto hits, and he can't dodge bullets. Unfortunately, actually, he could, but he's out of
Reactions.
out of reactions. So in that case, you just do 3d100 damage.
Nasty.
What is this? Okay, cool.
That is 110 and 40, so 150 total.
150. All right. 2 armor checks. He failed both of them, so that is up to a total of 240 damage he has suffered. So you stab him these two times, and then you, with your offhand, you draw your rail lock and you hit him square in like the back, like a little bit up from where his head is, and it goes all the way through, and it like
Oh my
hits the swamp like moss on the ground beneath this thing, and you can
Does
see
it-
can see like its spine. Like you've
Oh my
severed this thing's spine, and
gosh.
it's still moving. It's still fine.
Like,
It is
how
not
fine
bloodied
is
yet.
fine? Jesus.
It's not
Yeah,
bloodied.
yeah. How okay is okay here?
He's not bloodied yet.
Like,
He's injured, but he's not bloodied yet.
well, all right then. I guess.
So it is
Should I just
your turn.
reload and go for shot 2?
That's your whole turn. It's one action.
Oh, that is my whole turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up next is everyone's favorite JPCU mascot, the Cock of Battle.
Ah, finally, my time to shine.
So
Better late than never.
I don't know where X or Battlecock was standing in the beginning of this combat, so I don't know exactly.
They were around the lake. I know that
Yeah, I know
much.
they were nearby, but I don't know. So I'll say that if Battlecock wants to fist fight Gatorpede, then he'll have to take an action to run up to him. But I'll say that he is close enough to, one action is enough to move there.
All right, I think I can manage that.
All right, so Battlecock trots up to this giant Gatorpede alligator monster, who now has a giant hole in it and a bunch of cuts and stabs on its head.
Correct.
Indeed, let me roll for personality.
Oh yeah, that's true. Might be too dumb to even fight the alligator.
That's going to be a 4.
A 4? It's one
A
of the martial
regular
art
chicken.
masters. No. I think maybe it's like 1 or a 2, something like that. Or only a 1, maybe. I think is a regular chicken, and then the rest is different. So 4 is a martial arts master.
Cool.
It's a
Wow.
tiny dragon.
Knowing that, let's see. Actually, I could bicycle kick. Actually, shred this guy.
That and Fist the Tiny Dragon are 2 of the most, pog moves.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bicycle kick.
Bicycle kick.
Do it.
Alrighty.
Do it.
Number half uses agility stat plus 1. That's a martial arts master agility of 7, which means that half is 3, plus 1 is 4 attacks. 4 attacks. It means the kicks do 4d8 times 10. And he's down to 16 key points. Dang, 48 is no small amount.
No, sir, it is not.
Alright, that's gonna be 19 in total.
190 damage. So that's 4 attacks, so that's 4 armor checks. 190. He fails all of them. Actually, no. He fails 3 of the 4. So he takes 190. He takes 90 of that damage. Dang. Okay. He's up to a total of 330 damage that he's taken. He is approaching bloodied. At this
Oh my
point.
gosh.
So
Just now approaching bloodied.
Yeah, so Battlecock runs. This is big. It's like a 15-foot long alligator, bro. Gatorpede. Battlecock runs up to this giant alligator mutant, and he flaps his little wings and he glides in the air and he flutters up to the Gatorpede's face, and then these 4 lightning fast, like whip crack sound effect kick, just do 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 do, and they slam into the Gatorpede's face, and it like destroys one of the Gatorpede's eyes. It like cuts deep gashes in the side of its head. Just breaks the thing's jaw on the left side of its head. Now this thing's looking pretty rough.
682.
So that is Battlecock's turn. It is Zhu Zhou's combat turn.
X6.
Pick 6. Ooh, I definitely could pick 6 in this situation.
Or Babbling Midget.
Bro,
Power
you
word,
squared?
babbling midget.
Yeah, X's spells are some of the highest tier spells. Period. They're just so good.
Demon Man casts power word, babbling midget on an alligator.
Power word.
Power word on a babbling midget.
Boston Brook casts Find Staircase.
Well, in any case, I think I'm going to start it off old-fashioned, because I don't think I've cast this spell yet in this new season. So I'm going to
No, you
start
have
with
not.
pick 6.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you're gonna fire 6 shots, I assume, at Gatorpede.
Yes.
All right, 6 perception checks.
5,
That is a pass.
2,
That's a fail.
6,
Pass.
7,
Pass.
8,
Pass. Final one.
7.
And a pass. You hit 5 of them. That's 5d12 damage.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
You
buffed
don't-
this spell between seasons for whatever reason.
You don't
What are you
kill
talking
this.
about? You nerfed it.
Oh,
You
I
used to do
nerfed it?
2d100.
Oh yeah, and I made it a little bit worse. Yeah. It used to be like literally firing like a machine pistol, but instead I made it firing like a machine hand crossbow. So yeah, 5d12. You could kill Gatorpede right here, right now.
Oh, please don't.
What do you
Alright,
mean,
that's
please
gonna
don't
be...
kill it.
Let me tie this up. Like 35?
30. Jesus, 350 damage. That is exactly half of Gatorpede's HP. Luckily, he's still technically alive. He has
What's
20
technically-
Hanging on.
Barely.
Yeah, he has 20 health left right now.
He has 20 health. This poor man. Please
So-
tell me it's my turn after this.
Oh, actually, it's Boston Brook's turn. Actually, well, no, X is another action.
Oh yeah, that's
No.
right.
So X from like 30 feet
Now.
away just like holds out his hand and he's like, Kalima! And these 5
Alima.
you know, like these little spheres of flame fire out, and they like Swiss cheese Gatorpede, like just straight up just burn holes in him. Just he's real messed up. He's on death's door right now. He's 20 HP left. Exit is you have one more action.
One more
Battling midget.
action. Battling midget. I totally could, but I think I'm gonna BM this poor Gatorpede, and I'm going to do a sick flourish with my gun, and I'm gonna blow it away.
A sick flourish. All right. Which lens do you want to use in your crystalline chaos magic revolver?
I'll do Satan's breath. Play like the bass boosted fart sound effect as I send it to its grave.
Okay. Give me another
Oh my
perception check.
god.
Seven.
That's still even roll damage because your bare minimum is enough to kill this thing at this point. So
Jeez.
minigun firebolts this Gatorpede, and then he draws this fancy, not fancy. It's like a demonically corrupted like hell revolver, and he spins the chamber, and then he just aims it at Gatorpede, and he poof, and this this bass boosted sound effect plays, and this hellfire laser beam fires out of the gun, and it spears the Gatorpede right through the top of its brain out into the ground, and it boils the water behind Gatorpede where it lands, and the monster just kind of
I'll blow the smoke off the barrel. See you later, alligator. And I do mean later. I'll probably see that guy in hell.
Probably. Yeah. That'd be hilarious. X dies and he gets there oh look, it's Gatorpede.
And they become best friends.
Yeah. Q
He gets a new follower. It's not just
Yeah.
Battlecock anymore. No, it's
New
Battlecock
familiar.
and Gatorpede.
God, a demonic Gatorpede? That would be scary.
Demonic Battlecock?
Oh,
Demonic Battlecock.
Hell Chicken? I have art for that.
Hellcock?
God.
Bro, punished Battlecock?
Punished Battlecock.
Oh god.
Call that cock and ball torture. I
That was
had to
good.
say that. No, that was a good one. I'm proud of that joke.
I'm proud of that too.
But yeah, combat's over. Because the other enemy fled after he killed Cartel Guy. So.
No, not cartel guy.
You know, he owes me a skeleton, man.
Damn, tragic.
Yeah, Cartel Guy is gone. Dead as
Alright,
doornails.
This skeleton, this Gatorpede.
You want to take the Gatorpede's bones?
Yeah.
Alright. Also, you get 2 bone mass for taking the Gatorpede's bones.
And I
Shit.
take its skin.
I mean, if you want to spend 10 minutes, half an hour skinning the thing, then you can. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Nothing, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't say something, but I was like, I guess taking bones is weirder than taking skin.
You take the bones magically, so it's pretty quick in comparison to actually going through and skinning the alligator,
Yeah, just imagine knowing I can take your bones quickly, but I individually pick them out of your body.
Thick nasty.
Yeah.
Wow, that almost sounds like a literal psychological torture.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Pretty much.
that's what we did to the cartel guy.
Yeah, it took his femur.
He deserved it.
And now he is alligator worm food.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I guess that
technically,
means I'll
I
also
don't
see
think
him
he
in-
would have digested, so you could theoretically take his bones from inside the Gatorpede.
Well, Gatorpede didn't eat him. A different monster ate him.
Oh, well. Depressing.
But yeah, so you
Sadness.
guys spend
Depression.
half an hour, and you and I guess actually, well, yeah, I guess Boston Brook could help because he is a monster hunter, so he knows how to skin animals. So he helps.
This is true.
And, so I'll say 15 minutes from half an hour with Boston Brook's aid, and you do manage to remove the skin from the Gatorpede, and then Boston Brook also he severs the head from the beast to keep as a trophy for himself. Even though the head is like a normal alligator head, he's it's also gnarly messed up from after Boston Brook cuts the head off and you guys have skinned it down to the skull. You see that the deep cuts where you guys stabbed it. There's the laser hole that's still melted from where the revolver round went through it, and then there's like the fractures and like the cracks where Battlecock kicked it in the face. So it's like it's a messed up trophy, but that makes it all the more
You know
cool,
what?
you know?
I need to read my sheet
Yeah.
real quick. Hold on. Hey, odd question.
Mm-hmm.
Odd answer.
Do I just have the bone weapon forever?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh. Sick. I guess I got a bone dagger on me now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now, weirder question. I know it's obviously under my disguise, but is it attached to my body like bone armor? Or is it inside my skeleton already, depending on how small the weapon is? Like, what?
The
do
dagger?
I-
No, you're just holding it. Like it's like
Now it's just like an
thing.
official dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So yeah, you guys, you know, do your thing. You skin the guy, you take his bones. Buster takes his trophy, and you're all stood next to this swamp in this abandoned drug cartel hideout.
Sick nasty. Can I? Do I know anybody that can turn this carcass into boots?
Um, I mean, there are many a person in Nolans who can do that for you when you get back. Or you could ask around the village, I guess, in Aguabanca if you wanted to ask if any of the locals know how to do that.
Yeah, I'll wait till I get back to Nolans. Because I'm willing to bet I can get it done for way better and way cheaper.
Well, or you have the second option. If you want magic gator skin boots, you can go to the meat market, and somebody there could do it for you.
That is a very good point. I would very much like magic gator skin shoes.
I mean, you do not know how to get to the meat market personally. You don't know the
But I
teleport
know
spell.
someone who does.
You do.
Me.
Monster book.
Hey.
Monster
Hey.
knows how to get to the meat market.
Hey. Hey. I'm gonna turn to what is it, not Jose?
No, the cartel guy? Cartel guy's dead.
Oh, that's not Jose, okay.
Yeah.
Can I turn to our gator friend?
Okay, so you turn to Ramon, and Ramon's like,
Ramon.
see?
Where to now?
He's like, it's up to all of you. Where do you want to go? We can go back to the village. We could go to, there is also I think you mentioned going to, like, that, like, archeological site you guys heard about or something, right?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. We need to go talk to the archaeologist or was it a zoologist?
He's an anthropologist, is what you were told.
Anthropologist. You go talk to the anthropologist in town.
Everyone's like, see, Dr. Weeks. Yes. I have
Yes.
talked to him a few times. I know where he lives. Please, follow back to my jeep. And
Is he
walks
stable?
back.
Mentally.
The doctor, I think so.
Sick.
He seems more. He also isn't. He's not a spellcaster, so he's not like magical. He's normal.
Okay.
Not like this one. And he points to Boston Brook, who is currently like chugging from his infinite flask of whiskey. So yeah, do you guys want to go to the doctor's house with your roll of croc leather in your arms?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys get back in the jeep. You guys drive another few hours. It is now in the afternoon, probably like 3-4 o'clock. And you can make it back to the village of Agomanca. And you guys pull up on the map of the village. Dr. Weeks' hut is building number 16.
Hut.
Yeah.
How
it's a hut.
affectionate
Well, it's,
for his dwelling.
It's a hut. I mean, it's a pretty nice. Well, I guess his house
It's
actually looks
livable.
modern. It's like how do I like it is raised off of the ground by a few feet, like a yard or so, with this kind of like wooden staircase leading out to like a nice wooden front porch with like a fence around it, and awning, like actual like proper roofing, like shillings, stuff like that. It is like a proper home. It's one story. Not the biggest thing you've ever seen, but you know, livable. Um, Nicer than most of the buildings in this village, besides like the government buildings. Pulls up,
Hmm.
and you all are free to get out. And everyone's like, "Here we are, gentlemen. Here is Dr. Week's abode."
All right. Well, I'll take a step towards the door and give it a firm knock.
All right, walk up, give it a nice firm knocking, and a few seconds later, hear footsteps coming from inside, and the door opens, and it's kind of like 5'6", a little bit short for a guy, um, kind of maybe like late 40s, late 30s, early 40s, uh, dude in like a button down dress shirt, but like the top buttons are kind of undone. Um, his like tie is very loose around his neck. Uh, you know, khaki slacks. Dress shoes. Opens the door. He's holding like a little glass of alcohol in his hand. Opens the door, and he's like, "Oh, good afternoon. I don't believe I've seen you folks around the village. Are you tourists or something?"
No, we are not. Unfortunately, we're
And he
actually
kind
here
of
for you.
and he raises his eyebrows and he's like, "Oh, are you uh the GPCU investigators that I received a message about?"
Yes, yes, we are.
Like, "Oh, excellent, excellent. Please, come right in." And he kind of steps aside and he gestures for all of you to enter his home.
I take up this offer.
All right, you guys enter a pretty unique living room to this house. There is a very, very, very large, like crocodile skin rug with like a coffee table and a really nice leather sofa. So it has like one of those like handcrafted, hand woven, like indigenous people's like blanket over it, draped over it. The walls are covered in like busts of animal trophies. There's like huge crocodiles, a couple of chupacabras. There's like bears and giant snake heads, and like deers and all these crazy animals. A nice fire pit with like a stove on it, big pot, some other tchotchkes, some local artifacts, some ceremonial daggers, some headdresses and rattles and stuff like that in like display cases around the place. Uh, and the doctor was like, "Please, come in, come in. Can I get you anything to eat or drink?"
Um, I'll just have a I'll have a glass of whiskey.
And he's like, "Ah, of course, of course. Anything for anybody else?"
What does he pour it in?
He pours it in a tumbler.
Good.
Well, I'll ask Professor Weeks, Dr. Weeks, whatever his name was, does he like pina colada? Because I certainly do. And I'll give him like 5 winks just to really sell it.
Okay. The doctor's like, "Oh, pina colada. Sure, sure. I think I have some of that in my freezer." And he kind of walks over into like a small kind of uh, kitchen area, like a stove, microwave, fridge, and he goes into the freezer and he pulls out one of those like big like frozen like buckets of like pre-made store bought pina colada stuff, and he plops the whole bucket on the coffee table in his living room, and he's like, there you are. Would you like a glass for that, or just out of the container?
I'll just walk up and I'll take it from him. And I'll, pat him on the shoulder. Please, no need for a glass. I'm very well acquainted with the art of chugging.
And he's like, I see. And none of you are psychic, but you can imagine his thoughts in his head are, I was warned they were weird, but this is strange. And of course, Bosterbrook asks for whiskey as well. But
Does
when he
Boston
pours
Brook react?
Yeah. When we goes to pour the whiskey into a tumbler, Bosterbrook's like, actually, could you not use a tumbler, please? And the doctor's
And I'm
like,
like,
oh,
I
of
turn to
course.
Boston Brook and I'm like, why is that Boston Brook?
And you look at him and see that his hand is shaking next his left hand, which is like near the hilt of his sword, like he's going to draw it on somebody. And he's like, oh, old habits die hard.
I'm gonna crack a smile. Like, I wonder if shot glass demons would be next on that list.
And the code, I give you started on shot glass demons there. Hold the ball game, tumbler demons, and Dr. Weeks is like, well, I only really have tumblers, sir, but this will do. And he gives him like a solo cup, a red solo cup with whiskey in it. Mousebrook's like, it'll do. I'm not picky, and he just begins sipping his drink. And Weeks sits on the couch, and he's like, so, gentlemen, what can I do for you? Why have you come to visit my humble abode?
Okay, out of character, what were we here to see? Oh, the earthquakes and shit, right? Yeah.
That's why you were sent on the mission, yeah. The anomalous,
Yes.
unexplainable earthquakes.
Doctor, would you happen to know anything about the earthquakes that have been happening here recently?
Doctor's like, the earthquake, well, I've certainly experienced them. There seem to be quite a bit around this area recently, but I don't know why they've been caused. But I do know that the locals have been acting very strange since they started happening a couple of months ago. I'm an anthropologist. I study the culture of these people, and I help uncover and study the ancient cultures of this area as well. The Aztec, the Olmec, the Maya, and you have to understand that the locals, particularly in the more rural areas like we are, it's a similar thing if you go to Ireland, if you go to Sweden or Norway or Denmark or even Germany or France. The old gods die hard. So while Mexico is a profoundly Catholic country, the many of the locals still hold kind of superstitions carried over from the old ways, and these strange earthquakes have kind of certainly brought back some of those old superstitions. So some of the people have begun, offering sacrifices to the old gods, and generally being more high-strung, more paranoid about their lives, about the world. Some of them have talked about moving away, but the funds to do so. Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, nobody likes to be in a high earthquake area. It's certainly scary. But I don't know why they've been caused. No.
What do you believe the cause to be?
Like, well, if I had to take a guess, I would assume either the cartels were doing some tunneling or something, or maybe there was the lizard folk are up to something. I know I don't study lizard folk cultures. They're a bit too complicated, a bit too magical for my taste. I tried it once and I almost got eaten alive. So I avoid those kinds of deep jungle areas. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I'm not a geologist or a seismographer. I don't know. I'm just as lost as all of you are.
Fair enough. I'll turn to Boston Brook and be like, anything you would like to ask, Doctor?
And Bashra kind of strokes his beard, and he's like, well, Doctor, have you encountered any of these mutated local flora and or fauna recently? And
Yes, and then I'll unroll the Gatorpede carcass that I.
and the doctor's like,
Which is really just
yeah,
a head of an alligator and a bunch of loose skin.
yeah, and like an absurd amount of skin. And the doctor's like, oh my, no. I mean, I've heard of a lot of locals disappearing recently. So maybe that's the cause, but I've not seen any of them myself. I would assume they don't hang around populated areas too much, which I hope they don't. Christ, I only have so many rounds for my elephant gun, you know what I'm saying? And he points to this massive double-barreled shotgun above the fireplace.
Well, we found this one having a treat of some cartel members.
And he's like, well, that certainly looks unnatural. I've not seen any myself. No, I can't say I have.
Well, alright then. There is something else out there, so do be careful, Doctor.
I'm like, oh, thank you very much for the warning. I'll be sure to spread the word as well. I mean, have people avoid the deeper swamps and stuff like that.
If you find anything else, please do let our company know. And I'll give him a business card because I just have those.
Of course. And he's like, oh, of course.
Alright, well, I believe our work is done here.
And he's like, all right, well, thank you very much for stopping by, folks. Please, if you have any more questions or, need any more help or anything, don't be strangers. I'm always here. And, he leads you all out. Closes the door behind you.
Alright, well, my next best guess is that we go to that crevasse that was opened as a result. I believe there was.
Yeah, so you walk out and you're like, what about that crevasse, Ramon? And Ramon's like, yes, the site you were told about. Sure. I believe I looked at a map last night, so I can bring you guys there if that's where you want to go.
Yes, please. I would like that very much.
I'm like, all right, please, hop right back in. And he gets in the Jeep and stuff. And, yeah, you are all brought back into the jungle for another couple hours drive. So it's now getting like 6 o'clock at night by the time you guys get there. And this is like there are no roads that lead here, so it is just like super bumpy, awful off-roading through this thick jungle. And eventually you guys do reach a kind of small clearing, and I can show you what you guys see. Let's see, where is the map? On the map. See, there's a small clearing, this huge gouge in the ground, as if like somebody has like pried the tectonic plates apart or something like that. And it extends beyond the clearing's boundaries, but it kind of tapers off after a few dozen yards. But at its biggest, the crevasse itself is probably, I think it's like 15, 20 feet wide. And also a giant circular hole in kind of in the middle of this clearing with some what appear to be man-made structures.
Well, that's not natural. Where are we entering it?
You guys be coming from the south of the map.
Okay, so we're entering at the bottom. Alright.
Is that man-made structure supposed to be what 4 is, or is that 3, 2, and 4?
2, 3, and 4 are all man-made carved sandstone structures.
Well, we could start by investigating number 3 because it would be closer.
Okay. So 2 and 3 are identical, and they
Okay.
are like 7, 8 feet tall. They look kind of like very tiny ziggurats, and there is a small staircase, south facing, and then if you were to climb up the staircase, you would reach this kind of 8 foot tall raised like sandstone block platform, perfectly flat, and then heading north is this kind of elongated staircase that acts as a bridge that crosses the ravine.
Well, I guess we'll. Well, is there any writing on it?
Yeah, there are hieroglyphs drawn on like the walls, like if you're like on the jungle ground and you're like walking along the kind of raised bit that's 8 foot tall like block stone platform. There are hieroglyphs
Okay.
carved into them.
Can I see what origin the hieroglyphs are?
They are Aztec in origin.
Can I attempt to read them?
Sure. Give me. Let's see. Do you speak? I don't believe you speak or read Aztec hieroglyphs. Let me see. Multilingual. You read Egyptian hieroglyphs. I'll say, give me an intelligence check at your disadvantage.
Okay. I at least have a reference.
Yeah.
There we go. That is a 10 and a 7.
Okay, so you do manage to understand like the bits of mural and stuff and kind of connect them, and some of the hieroglyphs are similar to things you've seen in previous cases related to the Aztec or the Maya and stuff like that. And all the hieroglyphs all depict and or describe holidays and acts of ritual human sacrifice.
Oh, joy. Well, it seems like a sacrificial altar then. Let's make our way to number 4.
Alrighty, so number 4 is a like 17, 20 foot tall, 2-story ish ziggurat, as it's depicted on the in the image. There is a big staircase that goes from north to south that climbs up the second story, and then at the top of the second story are 2 carved pillars, probably like 5 foot tall, with like braziers on them to hold like fire and like torches. And then there is also a stone altar covered in blood, and then there is over the edge there's this kind of very steep like stone like slide ramp that's also covered in blood that leads right into this giant pit.
How fresh is the blood?
Some of it appears to be only a couple of days old.
Slightly worrying. Can I scan the area for magic?
Okay, you scan the area for magic. What would come up? Well, firstly, the I guess that the altar wouldn't be magical. Okay, so there is kind of like
There we go.
like
I had to reset my connection to the channel.
there is a rather large amount of pantheonic magic rising from inside this big circular pit of the ravine, which kind of just wafting into the sky from wherever it's originating from. Additionally, would there be anything else? I don't think there would be anything. Well, yes, some of the hieroglyphs do glow with various schools of magic as being runes, like magical runes.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Let me see something here. Hmm. Can I? What kind of spells do I have?
I will note a couple of things that you get for free. Firstly, as you're kind of standing on top of this, of four, this kind of two-story, like weird ziggurat, and looking out over the pit, you do notice that as the sun is setting, it is lined up perfectly with the altar and the circular pit as it is slowly like coming down to set. You are staring directly at it. Additionally, you being a champion, you can feel that reality is a little bit wibble wobbly here.
Okay. So something ain't going too according to the rules of nature right now. So,
What are the rest of you doing, if anything?
and I don't really have a spell that would be good for this.
Well, what are you trying to do?
Well, like, because what I want to do is I want to try to illuminate or like cast something to try and give us a good view into the pit.
Set a stick on fire and drop it down.
Oh, well, yes, but that's gonna go out eventually. I want something that will illuminate the entirety of the pit until the
Set a
bottom.
magic stick. Set a stick with magic fire.
A magic stick.
Or I could just have X cast Fireball.
I guess.
All right, I'll go to X and be like, cast Fireball into the pit.
Lamau?
If you please.
Alright, X instead turns the pit into a babbling midget.
Ugh, sick nasty.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Actually, not gonna lie, pretty great. How do you say so myself?
I don't think prestidigitation can spawn light, can it?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so, because Bossbrook has prestidigitation. It also has power word find staircase, but that doesn't help because you already know where the staircases are. So
Well, there may be another staircase going down to the bottom of the pit.
that's true. The good one you haven't found yet.
I'll have Boston Brook cast Find Staircase.
Alright, you tell Bossbrook to cast Find Staircase.
Power word Find Staircase.
Find Staircase. It's a spell that immediately tells the user the direction and distance to the nearest staircase. So the spell tells you that the nearest staircase is the one that leads from the second floor of the ziggurat to the ground in area 4. That's the nearest one.
Sick nasty. Well, anyway, can I investigate those pillars?
On top of 4?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Just anything that's unnatural about them.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
All right. That is an 8, good sir.
Alrighty. You take a look and you kind of look around them. They are kind of decorated, but no like hieroglyphs that really seem to mean very much. It's kind of like patterned in the carving and the engraving. And then you climb up one of them, take a look in the brazier, and you see that there is a hieroglyph that has been carved into the bottom of the metal brazier. You kind of flick over to your magic vision, and this appears to be an elemental fire-making rune. It's currently inactive, but it is a fire-making rune. So whoever has the command word or command gesture can snap their fingers, and the fire will light in the pillars.
Can I destroy this rune?
Yeah, you can take your rapier and stuff, and you can slice the rune up.
I will gladly.
Okay, yeah, you do that. You destroy one of the fire runes, and you do the kind of little like embers and sparks kind of like flare up as the magic kind of pulses and dissipates.
All right, I have an idea. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that there is something in this pit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a like a branch, just a branch with like leaves on it. I'm gonna go over to, I don't know. I want to be fair, so I'll go over to X this time, draw magic off of him, and then light the lighter and set the tree, like the branch on fire, and then drop it into the pit.
Oh my god. It's almost like Yuna said that earlier.
Shut the fuck up.
Crazy.
'Cause
Yuna's gonna like look over to Boston Brew and be like, oh my god. It's almost like I said that earlier.
Boss looks like
who's the scientist here and who's in the bomb collar, okay?
Wow.
Like, I have prestidigitation. I can auto light small fires, but whatever.
Who's
he
the scientist here?
Snatches
The
fingers and he lights
scientist
his cigar.
denied it earlier, alright?
So yeah, you light this branch on fire with your lighter, and you chuck it into the pit, and it falls. It falls. And it falls. And then it falls. And then it falls some more. And then you cannot see the light anymore. And then after probably like a solid 30 seconds, a minute of waiting, this kind of like rush of hot air surges up from the bottom of this pit, and this kind of like really like inhumanly deep moan that I will not try to reproduce. Like this, it sounds like somebody's like gargling rocks kind of like emanates from this pit.
Well, that's ominous. Well, I'll be damned if I'm not curious. Let's go for round 2.
Okay, so you're going to try
Second verse, same as the first.
You're gonna drop a different. Okay, so you do the same thing, and then you take another branch, light it on fire, and then you drop it down. Same verse, second is the first. You
Same verse, second is the first.
Yeah, the stick falls, and then eventually it falls so far as to disappear from view, cloaked in shadow, and then this kind of like groan, this kind of like it's not that somebody's like a landslide almost, like a very distant landslide, like, and it's kind of like this rush of hot air radiates from somewhere in this pit.
And I speak in an ancient tongue.
Which
trying to,
ancient
like,
tongue would you like
communicate?
to speak in?
Whichever one gets me closest to divination.
Let's see. What do you speak?
Because I know Egyptian's not gonna work, so
I mean, you do speak demonic and angelic and Latin, and both, like, all three of those are spellcasting languages. So,
okay. I'll like yell in Latin down the pit. Hello. Like, I'll just say hello in Latin.
okay, you yell down. I'm gonna make a roll. Not for the pit, because the pit does not speak Latin.
For the pit. The pit speaks Latin. Huzzah!
Let's see.
I have solved the mystery. It is the pit. The pit speaks Latin.
The pit speaks Vietnamese. So
Crazy.
you yell into the pit, hello, and it echoes forever. Actually, no. I think it doesn't echo, and that's creepier. Like, you yell down into this pit, and there's no echo.
Well, that's ominous.
That's crazy.
Well, there is a chance that if I shoot down into this pit, I could anger whatever is sitting down there. So do I take that chance? I'll take a consensus.
Boston Rip says that if there's someone down there, he wants to kill it.
Fair enough. That's one vote for yes.
I think Nyx is gonna shrug, and Yuna's gonna be like, "Well, you're the scientist."
Correct, I am. But do we want to fight an eldritch horror right now? Is the question.
I mean, I'll be like, hey, it's not like we haven't done that before, so I'm not sure what your concern is, to be
You
honest.
weren't really involved in the combat there, X.
Who was there in the spear? Battlecock was there.
Battlecock was there, yes. So
So
you
let's
know what?
say
Yeah,
it
yeah,
again.
why not? I'll load up a shot into my rail lock pistol and just
Shoots
take a
through
shot
the-
down into the center of the pit.
through the earth, comes out on the other side of the planet somehow, even though it survived molten lava.
Yeah, the shot splits the earth clean in half.
Pass
And,
right through the core.
Yeah, it obliterates the earth. Campaign over. You destroyed the world.
Sick.
Sick nasty.
You also
did
would
the
have shot
thing.
the IRS if you did that too, so. IRS is also deceased. End of
Ah,
universe.
End of K2.
End of K2.
Roll credits.
Yes, you load a shot into your pistol, and you gangster fire it into this pit. And, it fires off, and you see it whiz down into the darkness. You don't hear an impact. And like 20 seconds, 15 seconds later, how would I describe
Your rail
this?
pistol round comes back, huh?
Yeah, it falls
The
from the
effects
sky.
of gravity have taken place.
I think, what would happen? This is a good question.
That's what we're winning.
Well, I have to think about this. Okay. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, okay. So about 20 seconds later, nothing happens at first, and you're all like,
Well, that was
Wonder-
anticlimactic.
yeah, what was going on? And you're like, this is kind of sus, kind of sleepaka. You know what I'm saying? And then after probably like 30 seconds, and 10 seconds go by, dead sound, eerie quiet. The second brazier that you didn't snuff out, and the fire kicks up in it.
Huh. Can I walk over and destroy that rune as well?
Sure, yeah, you can do that. You walk over, and
Sick.
you slice through the metal, and the sparks fly, and the little pulse of orange magic kind of into like miasma in the air, and then it dissipates as he destroyed the rune.
All right. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Another shot. Actually, wait. Don't we have flares?
I don't know. Do you?
Well, we would have packed like basic adventuring gear.
Also, yes, like Ramon has flares in his Jeep and stuff.
Hey, Ramon, would you mind being a buddy and grabbing me a flare?
And he reaches into like his fanny pack, and he produces a flare.
What a man! What a man! Thank you. I will light said flare and then toss it into the pit.
Okay, you light the flare. Make me. Actually, you have night vision. I don't think you have night vision, do you?
I don't. We covered this last time.
We did. Who else is looking into the pit as he tosses his flare down there? If anyone.
Sure.
Okay. I know Bosterbug is, but he also does not have night vision, so doesn't help. Does the Bone Fairy have night vision?
Does Ramon have night vision?
He does, yes. Nyx does not. I don't think Yuna does either. No. Ramon does.
Does X?
I don't
Isn't
think
like-
so.
No. Wow,
Isn't
none
that
of you
like
have
a
night vision.
Really?
Wow. I'm really surprised by that. Usually, like, in campaigns, everyone has night vision. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I can abuse darkness against you guys now. So
I can cast Dispel Darkness.
yeah, learn Umbramancy so you can control shadows. So you drop this flare down there. Ramon is not looking in the pit. He is doing something else. So you drop the flare down, and you will kind of see part of it. So you drop the flare down, and as soon as it kind of leaves the zone of like where the setting sun's light hits the inside of the pit, once the flare descends into actual shadow, you kind of hear this very faint like whip crack, and the flare is gone. It gets stuffed out instantly, just whoosh, and it keeps falling.
Oh. I'll take another shot. Because something's not right here.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at something. To this guy. Oh, okay. All right. Ooh. Could I use? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Where is everyone right now? I know the boss and Rick at JVH are up top of the ziggurat and they're messing with the pit. Where's everybody else?
Honestly, I'm probably just milling around, admiring the architecture. I don't really care what's down in the hole. I'm just doing my job, whatever that might be.
Well, your job is what's in the hole, so.
All right, never mind. I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with JVH, staring down into the hole.
Okay. All right. What about the Bone Fairy?
Sure.
What are you saying sure to?
You're asking if I look down the hole, no?
Okay, so you're all on top of the ziggurat, staring into the hole, next to this blood-covered altar that smells of human viscera. Great. Okay.
So the hole smells like human guts.
Well, the altar and the blood-covered slope of the ziggurat smells like human remains, yes. I guess smells a good thing I could describe. The pit smells well, the whole area smells of humidity because you're in the freaking jungle. But the pit smells like decay. And it smells like decay, and it smells like hot. Like, you know what, like that weird like hot air steam smell?
Yes.
Like that.
So it smells like bad breath, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, joy.
Okay, so the flare got snuffed out. You're gonna shoot another shot into the pit.
Ominous. Okay.
Are you shooting the shot into the pit?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do. You light another shot, and the rail lock goes off. The shot shoots down into the darkness. You don't get a response or like any feedback again. You don't even hear the round hit anything. It is nothing. Who would be able to hear this?
Answer me, damn it. God.
Bone Fairy, you can make me a perception at disadvantage.
Sure. That's an 8.
Jesus, disadvantage? Christ. You as this shot goes off, and everybody's very intently staring down this pit, kind of precariously leaning over, this altar. You hear, because you aren't really paying attention, you're Bone Fairy, you don't care. You hear this very faint sound of stone grinding on stone, coming from somewhere that isn't the pit.
Do I know exactly where it is, or?
It's coming from within 30 feet of you.
Can I pinpoint it, or it's just around there?
It's just in the general vicinity. You can't really tell where it's coming from.
Walk away from the edge.
Okay, you walk away from.
And then, yeah. I'm gonna be like, "Mm, Nix does not think one should stand there.
Why?
Nix here sound close. Bye.
Ominous, but okay. I'll take a step back.
So you guys, stop staring over, precariously leaning over the edge of this altar.
I'll keep an eye on the pit, though.
Okay, so you do. And Nix, you're standing like on the stairs. Basically, you've gone like you've backed up all the way. Like you're like and the rest of you are kind of like take a step back. You heed the Bone Fairy's advice. Unfortunately, it isn't quite good enough. As the two stone pillars that have the braziers on the top of them, they kind of like, how do I describe this?
Bows?
No, they walls of stone eject out of the sides of the pillars and like slam together and block you guys from accessing the stairs. And then the pillars and this new wall that's appeared begins shifting across the ziggurat, trying to like a compactor, trying to force you all off the edge into the pit. And it begins grinding just off the edge, like towards you guys.
Can I cast, can I see what magic's coming out of this?
This would be transmutation magic.
Transmutation, you say?
Yeah.
Can I cancel it out in any way possible?
Let me see. I forget if I gave you Dispel Magic or not. You have Counter Spell.
I know I can cancel out magic because I did it in the Eldritch fight.
Well, that was a ritual.
Yes, but I was also able to dispel magic. Unless I need to be in my champion form for that.
Well, Counter Spell, you need to see the person doing the casting to negate the magic, so you cannot counter.
I thought I was able to dispel magic.
You can dispel runes. Anybody can dispel runes.
Are there runes on the wall?
No. Actually, the pillars, they haven't changed. They still have, like, the engraving and stuff, but the
No,
new
I'm
walls
saying
are
like
just
the
flat.
walls that are.
Yeah, the new walls
Oh,
are just flat stone. They look kind of like they don't look well carved or anything, or like man-made. They look
they're just rough
like
cut.
yeah, just like magically generated. Just somebody's casting like an earth wall spell and just
Well, you know what? This is what we have a Boston Brook for. Boston Brook, if you would please.
Boston Brick cut the wall. Boston Brick's like, don't gotta tell me twice, boss. And he draws last limit, and he tally ho, and he begins hacking away at this stone wall. And he just and for the Bone Fairy's sake, this sword, which looks totally mundane to you,
Mm-hmm.
cuts through this stone wall like butter. Like there is no resistance whatsoever when he just cuts through this wall. So Monster Brick cuts a doorway, like a perfect square doorway, in this wall as it's still like it's kind of like hole in the wall, the old game show, you know. He cuts this
Mm-hmm.
hole in the wall, and then
Jesus.
but the wall, like that part of the wall, even though he cuts through it, the door, like well, the quote unquote door, still keeps
A
moving.
hole.
Yeah. So Monster Brick's like, oh, hmm, all right. So he begins like slicing chunks of the wall off to try to like see what will happen, and like he cuts like a corner of the pillar off. So the pillar, that part of the pillar is just floating, like detached from the rest of the wall, but is still shifting towards you guys slowly, but it's still coming. So he's slicing holes and like gashes in his wall clean through. Like he can see the bone fairy through the wall now, but there's still like it's still coming because it's magically connected to each other.
Well, we might as well take our leave from this wall. So, shall we?
How are we gonna get through?
Can we not cut through this stone?
You can cut through the stone, but cutting through it like it's still like you have to like obliterate all of it basically because
Hmm.
like cutting pieces of it off, it's still magically connected to each other. So even if you like he like parts of it are floating. Like he's straight up bisected the wall clean in half,
Oh,
but it's
I have
still
alchemy.
that doesn't you know really potions on you. You need an
Yes,
alchemist for
but
that.
I can commit alchemy, which helps minorly. I can transmute.
Well, this isn't Fullmetal Alchemist alchemy. That's transmutation magic. It's Fullmetal
Uh,
Alchemist alchemy. Alchemy is
unfortunate.
potion
So
making.
what? Hmm. Well, this is unfortunate. So what can I do here?
Um, I mean, uh, you've got like 5 feet left out of the 10 that isn't covered by the altar before this wall just like forces you guys into the pit. You could jump off the sides, I guess. There aren't walls or barriers on the sides.
Hmm. Well, I mean, like the whole thing is part of me wants to know what's trying to kill us currently.
Mm-hmm. I
Part
mean,
of me wants to jump off though.
you and Boston Brook being mages and Boston Brook being an archmage, Boston Brook recognizes that this is a spell that somebody like is casting. This is just like
Well,
earth wall spell.
obviously.
So this isn't like a runic trap that somebody made. This is just something that's being actively caused by someone somewhere. And you figure
Hmm.
gotta be in line of sight to do it, as most spells are.
So it's someone looking at us currently that's doing this.
You figure that if somebody's divining on you,
Hmm. Can I call out to the others? Are they in here with us, or is it just me and Bosbrook?
You, Bosbrook, and X are, I guess, and Battlecock are all stuck being pushed back by this wall, while the Bone Fairy and Ramon are on the other side.
Uh-huh. Can I call out to them and be like, hey, is there anybody nearby that's looking at the wall or where we are, or anybody in general?
Ramon's gonna actually have to make a couple of checks then. What is... Okay, and then... Alright, so I'm gonna roll 1 for this guy, and 1 for Ramon. That is poor. Wow. Okay, Ramon, what is your perception, Ramon? 6. Okay. So
5
Ramon
and
failed.
6.
5 and 6. Okay. Okay. All right. So Ramon is like, he is also like across the pit from you guys. He's a ways away, so he sees nothing. Bone Fairy and Tooth Fairy, as you guys look around, you look around your right, around the right side of the ziggurat, the left side if, on the orientation of the map, and you see that there is a... How do I describe this? If you look on the map, right, on the map, look on the map. The area 4, right, this main ziggurat, has this kind of 4 corner pieces that hold it up, but there are those 2 gaps on either side. And you look around the right side, and you see that there is like an open doorway there, with like a staircase that you can barely make out in the darkness that seems to lead down, leading down north, not into the pit, leads up, like back away from the pit, but still descending. You don't see anyone, but you do see this hole in the ziggurat's first level, with this staircase.
Okay. I peek down there.
Okay,
I guess I tell Ramon to follow me.
All right.
Ramon's on the other side.
Yeah. It'll take a minute. It'll take a minute to
Then
run up there, but I mean, he
is
can follow
you said
if
this
you
is
want.
you said where was Ramon again?
He
Please do remember.
was across from Area 1, so he's at the south of the map, and you're at the north of the map, basically.
I'll tell him to go on the other staircase because you said it on 4, like those holes in the middle, those little ways, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll tell him to go on the other one that I'm not doing.
Okay. So you run over. You just in the staircase, and you run around, and there is, it's a staircase. The ziggurat area 4 appears to be hollow, but there, like you know for sure there wasn't this hole here before. That like this is an open secret doorway, and it descends down. You don't see where it ends. There are torches on the sides of the walls that keep it lit up. Farther down, it's still low light level in here, but there are torches, so you can see. You do hear some vague commotion. What else? Actually, I guess you would hear at this point, someone like whispering or like mumbling under their breath, not too far away from you, but you do not see exactly where they are.
I'll call out and be like, "Oh, don't worry about us, guys. Yeah, we're just slowly being pushed towards this pit. It's fine."
Yeah, you're
Honestly,
all like,
this is some great drama.
yeah,
I don't see what the concern is.
And now you guys have been pushed to like you're all like standing on the altar as the wall has made it too difficult to stand between the altar and the wall, and as the wall begins to encroach on the altar, the stone wall, like when it hits the altar, it's like a ripple on water, and like boom, and the wall ripples a little bit, and then it forms around the altar, so not to break the altar. It's really strange, and you guys have like solid 30 seconds before you're all forced off of this edge and into the
Can I turn to Boston Brook and have him give me a boost?
Yeah, sure, he can boost you over the wall.
All right, Signasty, and then I will pull him up over the wall.
All right. I mean, X is still there.
That is true.
So worthy sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna help X out after we both get over the wall.
Wow. Gonna abandon your companion
No,
like that?
we're gonna do the two people pulling
Wow.
up one person thing.
So rude. Unbelievable.
You see that? You see that? How could you? Abandon
Honestly,
your friend
we're
like that?
giving X the benefit of being pulled up by two people.
Wow.
Yeah, Bosterbook is strong enough. Even as a 70, 80-year-old man, he is with his sword. He is able to easily hoist you over, fastball special style, chuck you over the wall. And then you kind of help him over, and then he helps X over. Right as the wall kind of, very dramatic. You get GBH over, and then you help Bosterbook over, and then X is like only his like toes are left on the edge. He's like slipping. The altar is starting to crack, and right as he gets pushed off the edge and his feet give out and he begins to fall, Bosterbook's meaty man arm, slaps
Wow.
X's, and he saves.
Wow. So I don't help him at all.
Well, you do after Bosterbook takes that risk to pull X up because Bosterbook, the sword, can bend steel with his bare hands. So Bosterbook saves X, and then GBH helps, grabs the other arm, and you both hoist him over, and you all land safely. And then once the wall kind of hits that end mark, it dissolves back into the pillars, and then the pillars like rocket back to their original positions. So it's like back to where they originally
They're gonna
were.
try it again, is the question.
I don't know. Are they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Where did those cuts go, by the way? Those cuts are just supposed to be continuing.
They continued until they cut the wall in half, right? So the wall is in
that
a
is
bunch
true.
of little pieces, but they're all floating in midair, and they were still like a solid form.
I'm gonna turn to Bostonberg and be like, "Hey, buddy, would you mind cutting those two pillars in half laterally,
Bosterbook's like laterally, like horizontally or vertically?
horizontally?"
Okay. Bosterbook's like, I was thinking the same thing, my friend, and he swing draws life limit again.
And then you know what? We're gonna push them into the pit.
Okay. So yes, Bosterbook cleaves these two pillars in half, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and these huge chunks of stone and metal, and you guys just roll them over the edge into the pit, and you see them, fall. And yeah, they disappear behind the shadow.
So now do we hear an impact?
Like you hear them like impact the sides of the pit and like bounce off, and as they get farther and farther down. Still no echo, but you do hear them. You don't hear them hit anything at the bottom.
Solid.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I guess once the wall kind of retracts and the spell ends, you're kind of standing on the ground looking down this, like outside of the ziggurat, looking in, and as you're kind of like, what the heck's going on? The stone wall kind of slides back up again, and the secret door is back to being a secret hidden door.
So now I'm going to turn to our fun bone fairy friend. What was so important that you couldn't help us?
You said find, and this is Una speaking. He's gonna go, well, you said find who's doing it. Yeah.
Did you find who was doing it?
There's a secret door down here that is closed. So what you want me to do about it? You got out just fine.
Fine, just fine.
Just fine. Like, you're not dead.
Anyway.
Clearly everyone's alive.
Boston Brooks like, not on the inside.
Boston
Yeah,
Brook.
I
not.
mean, were you ever though?
That is a fair point. Yeah,
He
was
finger
he
gun
ever
winks
mine?
at
No.
you.
But anywho, yeah, you know what? We'll investigate that door.
Alright, you walk around and you see a flat stone wall on the side of the ziggurat.
Here, and I'll like put my hand on the wall.
It's a solid stone wall.
So here is where you saw the door.
Yeah, right there. It opened, it closed. You know, the things the door do.
Huh. You know what? We've got a
Cut it
man that
open.
can. We've got a man that can cut things in half for a reason. Boston Brook, do the thing.
And he's like, oh, am I? I'm just a walking laser cutter to you, Is that all I'm good
Yes,
for?
now you are.
Fair enough. And he just draws his sword and he cuts it in half. I mean, he is kind of take out part of like the side supporting structure for the ziggurat a little bit, but it's fine probably. But he does, Jedi style. He stabs the door and he just and he cuts it all the way through, and then he kind of like shoulder checks the top half, and it falls through, and yeah, sure enough, the interior is hollow. There's a staircase and some little torches that walk down. It's 10 foot wide staircase, pretty big.
Good to know. All right. Well,
See?
if I were a betting boy, I'd say. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Man, that's a terrible betting, boy.
Yeah. You're right. All right, let's go.
All right. So you guys begin making your way down into the ziggurat, and the staircase is kind of like spiral after a while, to the point where you guys are no longer quite sure what direction you're facing. Eventually, the staircase ends on a long 10-foot wide hallway, and I can actually share my screen because I have the map on TTS.
That's been a while since we've had that.
It has
Yeah.
been. It has been. Tip simulator. Share.
It's about time.
Alrighty. It's gonna make stuff really laggy, but I think it's worth it.
It's fine.
No, wrong. Come on. This version. No, wrong. This version. And then that. And then Tiny Tooth Fairy. Who else? X. Alrighty. Honk. And then you guys all go over here. Because you're all right here. Honk. And then bonk. So yeah, you are all in this hallway, this long 10-foot wide hallway. JVH is up front with Boston Brook,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's Nyx and Tiny Yuna here, Battlecock, and then X is all the way in the back as the Red Mage. So yeah, you guys can see down this hallway is blocked off by a large tapestry. What you can see look like jail bars and little alcoves down here. And there's the hallways on either side.
Which ones? Who's in front?
This is
I am in front.
Okay.
But yeah, JVH and Boston Brook are in front.
Hmm. Well, on we go. Let's start off by going to the right.
Oh, the right, you say? Okay.
I do say.
So you head along down. You come to a door on your right.
Sick nasty. A door on the right, you say?
Yes. This one.
Alright, well, might as well. I'll crack that baby open.
Alrighty. That door. Okay. You open up that door, and you see a small little room. Doorway. A small little room with it's kind of like what looks like a sarcophagus against the back wall. So in this square here, sarcophagus. The lid has been popped off and is kind of cockeyed a little bit on the leaning on the ground against the sarcophagus. It's empty. There are also like wooden dresser in here. There was like a mirror on it and stuff. There is like a mannequin or something to like put like an outfit or something on that's also empty. Like a small desk or like a table, like a foot locker, like a trunk. Nobody in here.
Okay. Can I check said trunks and lockers?
While he's checking, by the way, can I mean, I don't know if I have like enhanced hearing, I forget, but if I do, can I make a perception check to see if I do hear anything?
Sure.
Okay. 9.
Okay, you hear something coming from this direction, a kind of vaguely northeasterly direction.
Hmm. I think can both fairies have high hearing, or is it only Nyx?
I mean, you guys have normal person hearing, to my knowledge.
Ah,
Unless I'm wrong, I could check.
I don't know.
Nyx the Bone Fighter? Yeah, you've got normal human senses. So, but you still can, listen out and stuff, and you hear that. It sounds like whispered, like incantations, or like
I think
prayers.
I think I'll immediately point that out. Like Yunu's gonna be like, think down was w- east of us,
Which direction is it?
right? Is
Oh,
that
okay. I see
is
now.
that east of us? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I guess if we're all facing the same way, that's west, but on the map it's east. So yeah, I'm gonna point in like that direction. It's like, think think someone's doing some incantations over there. You know, kind of hippity hoppity, get out of my property incantations. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, then let's backtrack and go straight ahead.
Alrighty. So I will set this up in a bit of advance. So you guys walk through this little hallway, and you guys see lining the walls are 3 very small 5-foot by 5-foot prison cells. Most of them are inhabited by unconscious humans, all of whom appear to be of Mexican descent. A couple of them look, well, actually, 3 of them look like drug cartel members, and 2 of them look like local cops. The last prison cell is empty. And then you come to this tapestry wall here.
Okay. What is it?
It's the tapestry.
Yeah. What does it depict?
It depicts. There's a. I wonder if this is a thing. If not, then I will. No. Oh, it is. Never mind. It depicts. That's a good question. And then we need. Alligator. No alligator mini. Dang, what a shame. Kind of cringe, bro. Lizard. Oh, riding lizard. Giant subterranean lizard. Normal side lizard. I'll do. It's a bit big. It's a bit too big. Lizard. That's really tiny. It'll do though. So yeah. So you guys see that this tapestry seems to depict. Oh, I know that'd be a good one. This one depicts. Actually, make me an intelligence check at GBH, and I'll have Boston Rook make it as well.
7.
He gets advantage because he's a historian. 10. Okay. This depicts the Aztec creation myth, specifically when the Earth god Chipotle ate, I think it was Huitzilopochtli's leg, and then they killed him and used his body to make the Earth, like the landmass of the Earth, from the primordial ocean.
Flashbacks ensue.
Yeah, to the first episode of the mission, where you guys went to the library and found that same myth in local folkloric texts.
Oh no, I was referring to flashbacks from K3.
Oh yeah, that too.
Well, all right.
And you can hear commotion, also like splashing, and some of the weird incantations that appear to be in what you would assume to be like Aztec or something, like Nahuatl, coming from beyond this tapestry's like curtain style block, basically.
I see. Can we do away with the curtain?
You can move the curtain out of the way, yeah.
Yes, please. Either
Great.
that, or I'm going to stab it.
I can make a Hamlet joke with that. So you Kyle gets it. So
Yeah.
you shove the tapestry aside. And it is like a
Aside.
shower curtain with like the metal rod in the top with like the rungs. So you just kind of slide that to the side.
Sick.
And you see in this room there are two look almost like wells. And these two wells appear to be like smoking and bubbling, and it smells very unnatural, and it smells like lizard skin and like blood and various kinds of alchemical ingredients and poisons and magics and chemicals. And there is a very strange looking human guy in very strange, brilliant gold headdress. His skin is painted black, and he has his face has like a skull painted on it on the front of it. His eyes are glowing. They glow red. He is clothed in a very nice looking gold fabriced cloak with very, very intricate woven pattern tunic and pants. Looks incredibly old. Like the clothing and stuff, like looks genuine antique. He has I think it's a knife on his belt, like a ceremonial dagger on his belt, and he is forcibly dunking some guy into this well and uttering this incantation.
How unfortunate for that guy. Can I shoot him?
Now we roll initiative.
Sick.
Initiative.
That is a 10, good sir. Give me that initiative.
I will
I got a 9.
Vampire Priest, and Avatar. I need to roll for Boston Rook first. He gets 4 on the dice, plus 5 is 9. You got a 10 GBH? So you got 10 plus 5
I
is
got a
15.
10.
What'd you get, Bone Fairy?
9.
A 9. Okay, 9 plus 8 is 17. I'm not 71, 17. The Vampire Priest got a 2 on the dice, so he got a 10 in total. And the Avatar, he got a 3 on the dice. Wow, great. Great job. I will 3 on the dice. 3 on the dice, plus whatever his thing is. Agility, I think it's 7 or 8. 7. Just a 10. Wow. A lot of 10s. What does X get?
8 on the die.
And the die plus 5 is 13. Wow, you're better than both of the enemies. Great. And then what does Battlecock get? Or do you want me to roll for Battlecock?
Huh?
Do you want to roll for Battlecock, or do you want me to roll for Battlecock?
You can.
Alrighty. An 8 for Battlecock on the dice. Plus 7 is 15. So, I think we will end today's episode off on another cliffhanger, on a combat-based cliffhanger, as the boss fight, basically, will occur next time. Yeah, so, as the group shove this curtain aside, they barge into this ongoing mutative ceremony, witness this strange guy, this priest-looking dude, chanting and incanting over this drowning man in this weird magic well. And the group draw their arms and prepare to engage in glorious combat. We hard cut to the credits. So of course, I've been your host, Kramer Chloris. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below. Comment what you enjoyed about it. If you didn't like it, dislike, and tell me what you hated about it, and give me a death threat. Those are always fun, right? Subscribe if you want to be notified when we post next, and subscribe if you hate it, so that you can be notified to be the first person to badmouth me. And we'll see all of you next time on Craft with Core K2.